Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
How do you know I'm not a gangster? Or used to be a gangster? I've been in the music industry for 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, the industry's filled with gangsters.
For 4 years, we have seen them as the perfect pair. Jay-Z and Beyoncé, the royal family of modern music. Every public appearance has been a masterclass in control. Matching outfits at the Met Gala, diamond-lit smiles at the Grammys, private jets touching down in Ken. But behind the flawless choreography, the same question keeps resurfacing in the darker corners.
Feel initially when Beyonce started dating Jay-Z, who is very successful, but he's also, you know, generally considered a gangster.
Darker corners of the industry. What if the most famous marriage and music was never real? What if everything, the songs, the tours, even the children was built to hide something far more complicated than anyone imagined? APA. We've been told for 2 decades that Jay-Z and Beyoncé are a love story of power and resilience. But insiders have long whispered another version. According to multiple people who've worked close to the couple, their relationship has always functioned more like a business alliance than a romance. Jay's image, once rooted in hard-edged masculinity, began to shift overnight when he linked himself to a young Beyoncé in the early 2000s. Before that, his lyrics were filled with
Jay-Z and Beyoncé being, you know, 2 of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in. Right.
hyper-macho bravado and dismissive lines about intimacy. Then suddenly came the polished suits, the art galleries, and the philanthropic smile. The timing was too clean for some observers to ignore, especially as quiet rumors about his private life refused to fade. Within certain executive circles, Jay's personal orientation was described as an open secret, a topic never printed, but constantly discussed behind closed doors. By the time Beyoncé released Crazy in Love in 2003, the narrative was sealed. Hip-hop's bad boy turned family man, and the shy Texan singer transformed into global royalty. But that same year, something else happened. Diddy entered the picture not as a rival, but as a collaborator. When Beyoncé recorded Summertime with Diddy in 2003, insiders said the chemistry between them was unmistakable. Some crew members allegedly noticed how their energy on set blurred the line between creative connection and personal tension. From that moment on, those close to the 3 stars began to describe an unspoken triangle. Jay-Z, the businessman holding the image together, Beyoncé, the face of perfection, and Diddy, the man.
There is a partial verdict in the Diddy case after 2 days. The jury has reached unanimous decisions on 4 of the 5 counts.
The problem is that 5th count means that we don't get to find out what the verdicts are on the other 4 because they are hung up on racketeering.
Moving quietly in the background. The friendship between Jay-Z and Diddy dated back to the 1990s, long before Beyoncé's rise. They had both lost their friend, Notorious B.I., in 1997, and bonded through grief, fame, and scandal. By 1999, they were both facing legal trouble. Jay for the infamous nightclub stabbing of music executive Lance Rivera, and Diddy for fleeing a shooting near Times Square. Each received probation. Sources who were around at the time say those shared experiences created a pact between them, one that extended beyond friendship. And when Beyoncé arrived,
confirmed. Tick-tock, tick-tock, the clock is ticking on Diddy, because on Friday he finds out what his sentence is going to be, but today he found out what prosecutors would like that sentence to be, and it is vastly different from what his attorneys have suggested to the judge. Prosecutors want him to do 11 years, just over 11 years.
That pact allegedly deepened racketeering. In 2000, the year of the MTV Video Music Awards, the first major crack in their story appeared. A young woman identified in legal filings as Jane Doe would later claim that she was assaulted at an after-party involving both men. Diddy and Jay-Z denied every part of the story, calling it a blackmail attempt. But the accusation never completely vanished. When the lawsuit resurfaced in late 2024, decades later, it reignited speculation about why Jay-Z would risk his spotless reputation to publicly defend Diddy. For some observers, his insistence on loyalty pointed to something larger. A shared secret that could destroy more than one empire if ever confirmed. By then, Diddy's own legal chaos had reached a boiling point. Federal agents raided his homes in New York, Los Angeles, and Miami in March 2024. In September, he was arrested on charges connected to coercive behavior, transportation for immoral purposes, and racketeering. His trial is set for May 2025, but the fallout has already fractured alliances across the industry. 2025, but the fallout has...
I think sometimes Meek falls victim to, I have to explain myself because they be playing with my name. And the more he responds, the more they...
already fractured alliances across the industry. Jay-Z, usually quick to align himself with moral causes, has stayed silent. 50 Cent mocked him online for going into hibernation, pointing out that even the annual Rock Nation brunch, usually a symbol of Jay's dominance, was quietly cancelled. The silence was deafening, and for many, it confirmed what insiders had long believed, that Jay-Z's connection to Diddy runs deeper than friendship. Behind all of this, Terrence Dean's memoir, released in 2024, painted a broader backdrop, a world where some of the biggest names in hip-hop lived double lives. Dean described a thriving but hidden rainbow subculture within an industry built on hyper-masculine imagery. He avoided naming names, but his descriptions were detailed enough to ignite speculation. He wrote of executives who weaponized homophobia to protect reputations, and of artists whose public personas were elaborate camouflage. It wasn't lost on anyone that Jay-Z's evolution from street hustler to art collecting mogul mirrored the kind of reinvention Dean